really what everyone has been talking about across Oklahoma. We have entered the third full day in the search for a killer. A statewide manhunt underway as we speak for this man, Michael Vance, who is wanted for shooting 6 people, including 2 Wellston police officers, and authorities say brutally killing 2 of his own family members. At this point, we are told he could be anywhere. Joining us now to talk more in depth about this ongoing search and investigation, Oklahoma County Sheriff John Wessel. Thank you so much for your time.
Glad to be here.
What is the very latest at this point? Any leads? I know you have had multiple tips pour in from all over the state, sightings of Michael Vance, anything like that. We also know a hit list that has surfaced as well.
None of the sightings, there have been multiple sightings reported, however, none of them have panned out. So at this point in time, this is the 3rd day that we've gone without any real information about where he could be. I mean, he could be anywhere at this point in time.
And based off tips that you've gotten, what you do know about him, I know you say he could be anywhere, but do you have reason to believe that he's in a specific part of the state? Are you focusing the investigation on a specific geographical area of the state?
No, we're not.
No? Okay.
As a matter of fact, the FBI has set up a command post for us. The command post is coordinate activities within law enforcement. We have sheriff's offices from Beckham County to Lincoln County to Oklahoma County, local police departments. We have the Highway Patrol. The State Bureau of Investigation is working 2 of the scenes. We're working the 3rd scene. So the FBI and the U.S. Marshals are coordinating the information in so that we make sure that every tip is checked. We make sure that every reported sighting is checked, and that we don't duplicate the work by coordinating the reports and the investigating efforts that are going around not only this state but nationwide. It's really a nationwide manhunt now.
We're looking also at video that he streamed live on Facebook during this crime spree. Also, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol released this information. He has a medical condition, quote, and might try to spread this disease. What is the disease? I've had several people ask me, what disease is this? And how do authorities know this at this point?
Well, it's based upon information contained within his arrest files, and really that's about all the information we can release due to HIPAA laws. But it is a contagious and a disease that can be shared with others.
At what point do you say, forget HIPAA, this guy is a public health threat? We have heard reports that have not confirmed that it's AIDS. Can you confirm that it's AIDS?
I can't confirm that, but you probably are along the correct line. But
okay, so HIPAA is the reason that you guys are not confirming what this is?
That's correct.
Okay.
And a lot of people wanting to know too how you're, coming up with certain information. We had one viewer send in this, Mary Beth, if we can pop up her question. She wants to know, how did they hear about that supposed hit list that you've been talking about if they haven't located him just yet? Where did you find that? How'd you get your hands on the hit list? And what about the people mentioned on it?
Well, all I can say is the information that we gather comes from a number of different sources. We don't identify the sources that we get them from, but we are able to verify much of the information that comes in. We don't release source information, but anyone who may be in danger has been notified, and law enforcement has worked with them to make sure that they're secure and their safety is good.
A couple of questions about the hit list. When you reached out to these people who were listed on there, were they surprised? What was the reaction?
I didn't make contact with any of those, so I really can't tell you the response that they had, but I can assure you that everybody on that list has been notified, and their safety, we're working with them to ensure safety.
Second question, do you know if the aunt and uncle were on that list? Just for our viewers, if they're just now joining us, we know this started in Wellston, where we are told, shot 2 Wellston police officers who, thank goodness, are expected to be okay, and then went to the Luther area where we are told he shot and killed his aunt and uncle. Was there some history between them? Was there a fight going on between the aunt and uncle? Were they on this hit list?
Well, as far as them being on not to my knowledge,
okay.
but he himself talked about on the video, on the Facebook video, talked about going to another location to wreak havoc. And that location that he went to was the aunt and uncle's house. So on the video, basically he talked about going there to probably kill them. That's where they would have come up. Their involvement is, of course, the entire family was involved in some way or another with the ongoing case out in Lincoln County, which was the sexual abuse of a child. And I think he hasn't said it, so we don't really know, but I think a lot of this probably got prompted and started with that arrest that occurred a short time ago.
And that case out of Chandler, out of Lincoln County, how was he able to be back on the streets after something like that? A lot of people chimed in asking, how is this man even back on our roads again after a child sex abuse case that he has felony charges for?
Well, he has felony charges and he has a felony background. You know, one of the things I think they're going to have to look at in his case, handling him as an individual, was a $25,000 bond appropriate? Because all it takes is $2,500 in surety in order for him to get out of jail. And it may have, it may have been higher than 10%. It may have been 15%. But he was allowed to post bond. Anyone's allowed to post bond. It's the amount of the bond that's supposed to look at the individual and whether or not they should remain in jail. A violent felon from the past, absolutely killer instinct at this point in time. You know, that's something that people will look at and ask questions for a long time. Should he have even been on the street? Yeah. Well, I don't think he should have.
What we're referring to there is he was arrested back in July on those child sex abuse charges. He was scheduled to be back in court on those in just a couple of weeks. Is that what you're saying maybe spurred some of this?
Yes. I mean, he knew that was coming up.
And you think that's what maybe?
And it was kind of inner family. So a lot of these people inner family had some knowledge and or some involvement.
All right.
Protecting the child or being with the child. So.
Okay, yeah, definitely a lot of theories being thrown out right now for sure. I do want to quickly go back to that Facebook Live video. We had one viewer, Austin, sent in this question. If he was able to be streaming video on the internet via cell phone, why could they not locate him? Any more pings, from his cell phone or any sort of, cellular device that you're tracking right now from that Facebook Live? I mean, at some point, he had a cell phone on him.
At some point, he did have a cell phone on him. I won't go into our current investigation, what is or what is not happening. I can tell you that that phone is dead.
Okay.
It has not been active since. So, we use the technology, especially the assets that are brought in now by the FBI and by the U.S. Marshal Service. They're great at tracking individuals. Our bottom line is we're trying to find him before he kills again. He has nothing to lose. He is a dangerous criminal, armed with nothing to lose, and that is a deadly recipe.